Welcome. Hello, year 9 students. I want to believe that you have sanitized, you've washed your hands, you're keeping distancing, that is social distancing, and of course, wearing the masks anytime you go out to a crowd. Today I want us to talk about argumentative essay. Argumentative. Writing. Argumentative writing, from the word argue, argument or argue. Most important thing when you do that, if you look at that article, Unit 7, Activity 5, Unit 7C, I want you to look at that, and we shall go through it together. When you are ready, you tell me so that we go together. Mumbai. There is Mumbai there. Karan was 17 when he first played the popular online game Counter-Strike. Soon, an entire evening was not enough and he started skipping classes, eventually bunking off school entirely. We got a call from the school saying he had not been attending for 4 months, said his father. Karan, which is a pseudonym because he did not want to be identified, suffers from what doctors call an internet addiction disorder. Last week, as the internet turned 40, the first residential treatment center for online addicts opened in the US. According to psychiatrists, excessive internet use becomes pathological if it interferes with a person's daily life and if he or she suffers from withdrawal symptoms when deprived of access for more than an hour. Karan has been undergoing counseling. Anecdotal evidence suggests he is among a rising number of people caught in the internet's web. I have been counseling 6 to 8 new cases of internet addiction every month this year, said Mumbai-based psychiatrist Dr. Seema Ingorani, adding that her patients range from 10-year-olds to those in their 50s. Many of them tell her that they don't see that there is any problem with surfing and gameplay, even though they do very little else. In other words, even if they don't do anything else. The title of this text is Caught in the Web. And I want to focus on argumentative writing by first defining what argumentative writing is. What is an argumentative writing? An argumentative writing is one that seeks to state a position on an issue and give several reasons for agreeing or disagreeing with that position. In other words, if you are reading a text, the text places 2 different opinions. Can be positive opinions and negative opinions. They are juxtaposed. To be juxtaposed is to be laid down in parallel for purposes of comparison or for purposes of contrast. You want to contrast them or you want to compare them. So you juxtapose them. In other words, you place them in a manner that they can be considered either to agree or to disagree. Caught in the web. If you look at that, for example, have you ever been caught in the web? Are you an addict? Are you for internet? Or are you not for it? There are preliminaries that we do when we want to make an argumentative essay, especially one which has been presented in a text. So when writing a piece of an argumentative writing, you should take a position, meaning you should be for or you should be against. So I want you to take a position. Are you for internet or are you against? Look at what has been, the writer has taken a position, and the way the writer is trying to present the ideas, you are likely to be influenced by the writer's opinion, or you create your own opinion. You must make a stand. So activity 5A1, argue from the text. Argue from the text. Give synonym word or phrase for the 5 words in bold in text 7C. There are words there, and I have taken time to place them. The words which are in bold, we look for the synonym word. Words, an alternative word of the same meaning. Why? If you want to understand a text, there are those difficult words that you need to zero in. You look at them, you paraphrase them. Paraphrase. For your information, we are going to talk about paraphrase. We are going to use this term here several times. And in our last video classes, you all understand that paraphrase really dominated. Because if you don't paraphrase, it is taken that you don't understand. You have to write the same text or the same phrase or the same sentence in your own words. Because if you don't do that, there is a high chance that you do not understand. And the only way the examiner or anybody would know that you understand is when you paraphrase. Now, there is the word pseudonym in the text. Residential, psychiatrists, pathological, anecdotal. All these words are from the text. What do they mean? Which alternative word do you use? Bring out the meaning desired, so that when you replace them in the text, you can get the exact meaning without distortion, without interfering with the meaning, without distortion. So the essence of paraphrasing is to curb the problem of content distortion. A pseudonym is a false name. False name. So when journalists want to capture some content or interview a victim or a personality, if that personality does not want his own identity to be understood, to be known by the general public, they can use a pseudonym. Residential is used in that text to mean live-in. Psychiatrists are doctors for the treatment of mental illnesses. So a psychiatrist is ideally a doctor. Then we have the word pathological, from the word pathogen. Pathogen is a disease-causing organisms. Disease-causing organisms. I think you can see that. These are like virus, like bacteria, like protozoa, like fungus. All these are disease-causing organisms, so they are pathogens. The last word there is anecdotal, that is rumor or hearsay. Unfounded, unqualified, saying that which you cannot prove. Now, give a word, that is number 2. Apart from the synonyms, give a word or phrase with the same part of speech to replace the underlined. You go back to that text, you'll find there are words there and phrases which have been underlined. Can you give a part of speech? When we talk about part of speech,